Time to bring the bass back.
Mix is the beat of our culture. Your music.
I thank God for the opportunity to make music and for that music to be on a platform for people to come out and love.
Your stories.
It's gold for the Philippines.
The next generation of creators, artists, and filmmakers.
We bring you the latest and greatest impacting people from our community.
Spotlighting inspiring content from Generation Mix.
It's just a true honor to be able to do this, especially with all the great Filipino talent here.
Discover fresh artists first from around the world. Uniquely Filipino.
Step back three. He has got that.
Mix is the beat of our culture.
Hey guys, it's Sam with 2M's and welcome to this MYXclusive interview. Hello to everybody who's tuning in live on our social media platforms. I'm so excited that you guys are here because we're going to be having a very, very special guest who will be joining us. He is an international musical stand-up comedy sensation who is coming home to the Philippines very, very soon because the Manila leg of his Later That Evening tour is happening at the theater at Soler on June 3, powered by MYX. So I'm very, very excited to just, talk about life and just everything that's been going on. So everybody, please welcome to MYXclusive, JR the Guzman. Woo!
All right, I'm gonna clap with you.
Yeah, I love that morning energy.
Yes, good morning. Morning, just woke up, having a cup of juice. I'm gonna block the brand there.
Perfect.
But yeah, it's early morning for me.
I got you. Well, kidding aside, to everybody tuning in, we're very lucky because JR is actually joining us from San Diego, so halfway across the world, where it is nighttime. So how have you been feeling?
It is 7 p.m. It's 7 p.m. right now. I've finished my day, but hey, But I can feel it in my Filipino body. I can feel that it's morning somewhere, in the Philippines.
Yeah. Exactly. So we're happy that you were still able to join us. I know some days are a little bit intense now, especially now you're also in the middle of tour too. But how was your day today?
It was amazing. Yeah, I trained with this basketball trainer this morning for 3 hours, and I just got I'm training for the PBA. So when I go over there, it's not just going to be, fun and games, laugh, joke, song. I'm going to try out for the PBA. We'll see if anyone picks me up. But, it's just, I got some goals out here. This was all just a ploy. I don't really care about the show. I just want to make it to the PBA.
Nice. Good on you for,
Thank you.
Trying different career options. That's important. I feel like, being able to do that. Shout out to, if anybody's watching, from the PBA, maybe you'd like
Talent
to
Scouts.
try it. Yeah. JR, he has that Filipino blood, so we know that he is really good.
This is my audition right here. This is me dunking it. Just imagine that. Boom.
Okay.
Keep that
Maybe we could see the flick of the wrist.
Oh, you want to see that? All right.
Okay.
See, I'm not gonna do the follow through because you won't be able to see it, but it's just
okay.
Bam, right there.
Oh, I think that's a pretty good
Thanks.
gooseneck action.
Thank you.
So I think we can definitely see a future in basketball, in maybe the PBA or maybe other leagues too. But we're very excited that you're joining us here, because like I said, you're going to be bringing the show to the Philippines very, very soon. But just before we talk about that, I know a lot of people too. It's your first time on Mix, so we'd like to get to know how you actually started with doing all of this in the first place. I know that you moved to the US at a very young age, but given we see a lot of your material online, you're still surrounded by a lot of Filipino culture and you keep in touch with the Filipino roots. So how did you actually get started with stand-up comedy in the first place? I know Asian parents, sometimes Filipino parents, they're very with creative fields sometimes, not all. But
you're in a creative field as well, entertainment and any of that stuff. It's this thing where I think Filipinos, we love entertainment, but you wouldn't think of your kids going into it. It's a weird mix because I grew up with my parents watching a lot of TFC or what's Ocha Ocha or all that stuff, doing the dances and everything. So they would have your kids showcase it, but then the second that they want to do it outside of a Filipino party for free and they want to do it as a job, then that's when they're like, whoa, you're crazy. But I will say, I think we're very lucky. I'm in this generation now, and my family is more supportive. Where in the beginning, like all my family are dentists, my brothers, their wives, my mom is a dentist, my dad is the office manager. And I think like in the beginning, they thought, all right, he's going to go into dentistry. And I kind of fooled them for a few years into thinking I was going to do it. And, but was secretly doing stand-up comedy and music stuff on the side. And when it started to take off a little bit more, they they were always supportive, but they just wanted to make sure I was financially secure, as our parents would do. But I was also going to say your guys' intro that you had for this show was so good. It like just watching it, it made me inspired just to like be Filipino or represent Filipinos. Ruby Ibarra in there, I think.
Yes.
Her was in there. Did you guys have Joe Coy on there too in the little promo? Or there's somebody wearing a hat that looked like Joe.
Yeah. But that's true. I feel like I got hyped by it too.
I got so hyped for this. It was great. I loved it. Whoever made that, good job.
Yeah. Shout out to you. I see it every day, so I also get hyped by it, and I feel like I have to come represent Filipino talent too, which I think we're very lucky that we're able to do, given everything that's happened, and thank God for the internet too, that we're able to talk even right now, and that's why we're so excited. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, well, there's so many talented Filipinos, and on your question of like, and so I might just ramble on because like I love talking about this stuff, but like the Filipino culture is like just very creative, and like there's so many talented Filipinos like with singing, dancing, acting, and so I think like as that promo kind of showed, or that video, it's like it's nice now that we're starting to get more, I guess, like spotlight or more opportunities, because I mean I grew up even from in high school where I would see so many like talented Filipinos in cultural events, and then after that I was just like, but where are they on the main stages? And now just more and more there's people are starting to see what we can do. We're not just nurses, we're not just whatever the stereotypes would be. Like there's so many creative talents out there.
For sure. I mean, Filipinos, as we see day by day, are very versatile people. We can do so many different things, but I think a lot of it is very creative, especially when we're young. Like you said, our parents make us sing, they make us dance at parties in front of our aunts and uncles and all of that, which I think, I feel like every one of us had to go through that, even though we didn't pick it up in the future, you know what I mean? But you kind of really stuck with music too, despite also doing stand-up comedy at the same time, which I thought was really interesting when I first stumbled upon your videos on my own social media. I was like, whoa, this is kind of cool. Like a Filipino represented, not just in comedy, but also like doing musical things together. And yeah, like which brings me to the question, like, how did you kind of find your own like space in the whole stand-up comedy world, especially with doing the music thing?
That's a good question. So I've been doing music since I was a kid. Like I did church choir, I went to Catholic school, kindergarten through my senior year in high school, wore the uniforms and everything. And
sounds like my childhood too.
Really? Did you go to Catholic? Where are you from, by the way, Sam? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Manila, so I also went to Catholic school. I went to an all-girls school, all-girls Catholic school. So I went uniforms too. See, same childhood.
Yes.
Love that.
And did you? Sorry, I'm just like, it's this thing where it's like whenever I do interviews, I just get so used to having a conversation. So I'll ask you some questions too. We're gonna host back and forth.
Yes, love that.
but yeah, so I went to Catholic school like you, and I kind of joined church choir originally kind of as a joke with some friends. Like these friends were like, oh, wouldn't it be crazy if we all did choir? I was like, yeah. Then I went in it and nobody else showed up to the practice except me from my friend group. And so I think I was like the one, I don't know, maybe like sixth grader, and everyone else was like little kids. Because as you got older, nobody thought it was cool to be in choir, but I stayed in it. And so I sang in grade school, took some piano lessons, drum lessons, and then eventually like stayed with guitar probably the most. And so like I still play a little bit of everything. But when I started doing stand-up comedy, like I didn't want to give up the the music aspect of it. So I kept it in my kind of in my show. And as far as like finding my voice or my in that space, I think it was just over time I naturally kind of found like where I fit in it by like just performing a ton of shows.
Yeah, and I shout out to sixth grader you, who stuck
Thanks.
with music and choir, that whole step. You know, I'm sure at that time it didn't make like, you know, I feel like you wouldn't have thought that it would have led you to where you are now. I can imagine.
Oh yeah. Oh no
But
way. Yeah, sixth grade me.
yeah.
Like I think originally when I was learning instruments, I think somebody put this out somewhere, and it's like now it's embarrassing, but like it was just to impress like a girl that I liked at the time. So yeah, always when you get into some kind of music, and then you find out you actually love the music. And so like my friend played drums at a talent show in 8th grade. So I was like, you know what? He's not that good. So like, and all these girls were like, oh my God, he's so hot. So I was like, all right, I can play drums. And so I learned how to play drums. And then my high school girlfriend, she saw my friend playing guitar and singing. He was like, oh wow, like Chris is so cute. And I was like, I can play guitar. So then I learned how to play guitar. And so thanks to all these girls, I have a career now.
Yes.
Shout out. They broke my heart, but then left me with a career, you know?
I mean, which is practical. It's important to have a career too. I mean, love is one thing, but having a career too is another thing. So shout out to all of those people that led you here, which we're very grateful for. But that was music. You know, music was always a big part of your life ever since you were young. Obviously, being a Filipino, we love music. But also, I kind of want to know, like, how did you even start with stand-up comedy? Like, you know, I can imagine it takes a lot of like, I don't know, courage to kind of like understand that this is something that you can do. And also, you know, was there a moment like you realized like, oh, I'm actually funny and I can actually entertain people this way?
Matt, you know, I think if ever I think about that, I don't really know when it started. It was always like just goofing off with friends. You know, I think you're never funnier than like when you're goofing off with your friends type of thing. Like, yeah, because like, you know, we go and do a performance and like I have this set or the show, but I feel like when I hang out with my high school buddies, we're laughing the hardest about the dumbest things.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, and then like also when I was in high school, one of my brother's friends and I were in the car, and I was just like making fun of my dad, doing impressions, whatever, because he's a really goofy guy. And I feel like that was another time where somebody was like, "Oh, hey, you could do stand up," just from making fun of my dad. So yeah.
Oh my God, honestly, I feel like a lot of us, we love to make fun of our parents too. I don't know, like I love to do that. My mom's probably watching this. She's like, yeah. She does make fun of me a lot. Like, which I mean, is the beginning of a lot of, you know, fun things too. And speaking of your parents, I did see the promo that you guys did for the show. It was kind of like a FaceTime call. And I'm so sorry to say your parents are so funny. Like
they're the best.
I love them. Like I have never met them, but I feel like they're my parents too. Like
they have a lot of fans. You can jump on. They have more fans than I do. You know, they're getting big. I'm just a platform for them.
So great. Honestly, sign me up. Like I love them and they're so great. And it must be so exciting that you're going to be bringing this show to the Philippines. And are they coming with you?
They are coming with. Yeah.
Oh my
trust me. They tell me every day. I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying this stuff. They ask me every day if they can get first class tickets. They ask me every day what hotel they're getting, all this stuff, everything. I'm like, okay, I'm figuring it out. First of all, I'm still figuring out my flights right now. And they'll call me every day like, hey, make sure you get us this. So yeah, they're definitely coming with. We're gonna have a good time.
Contrary to popular belief, it's actually their homecoming. And not yours.
It is. Oh, my dad. So for the longest time, he's been telling me to go back to the Philippines because he has so many fans out there.
Count me in. I'm one of them. I'm so excited. I can't
I'll
wait.
tell him. I was like, yeah, Sam is excited. So when you have your show, Dad, announce it. And then you guys are gonna have this interview too.
Yes, Tito. I will have you on the show whenever you want. I'm such a fan. It was so great. But obviously, I got so excited for the show too because this is a huge moment for you. We were talking a while ago, and this is the first time you're going to be headlining a show in Manila, the Philippines, which is for later that evening. And it's so exciting. So how does it feel that you're going to be finally being able to headline your own show and your parents are going to be there? It's going to be a huge thing. And it's just such an exciting moment for you.
Yeah, honestly, like I feel a little bit of everything. Like I'm so excited that I've been able to work up to this point to go back to the Philippines and like, you know, I guess celebrate my culture, but I'm also like kind of nervous too because it's my first time and it's this big show. Like I feel all of it. I feel all of it for sure. I just yeah. No, you go ahead.
Yeah, I was like wondering, like, do you feel more at home when the audience is like mostly Filipino, or does it make you more nervous?
Oh man, that's such a good question. I guess it depends. So like I've been doing stand-up comedy for 12 years now, you know, grinding, all that stuff. And in the beginning, it was I'd probably have like 1 or 2 Filipinos, if maybe 1 or 2 even like Asian people, and then 1 or 2 actual like Filipinos. And so I would talk about our culture a lot, but like to people who I'd have to explain it to.
Yeah.
And then maybe in the last 5 years, I started to have more audiences that knew who I was or you know, understood Filipino culture already. So I guess a bit of both, where I get excited, but I also want to like represent us well. You know, it's like it's both of those things. And I will say, like in my experience with it, Filipino audiences have been great. Like so supportive. I feel like anything I say, they're just down for and excited. It's like I'm like, this is how Manny Pacquiao feels when he boxes. Like, feeling.
That's so true. You know, anytime any Filipino sees another Filipino anywhere in the world, it's like they're automatic friends, family. Like literally, it could be at the most random place at the most random time, and we feel connected.
You know, I think so I'm in San Diego. There's a lot of Filipinos here, but I think maybe you're like, this is probably I'd be probably like the 3rd Filipino person I've seen today. You know, and then so not a lot. So because like I went to the gym and whatever. And so for me, it is like, whenever I see another Filipino, I'm like, oh, I'm like instantly, it's like family. I feel at home. It's like, there is something to it. But yeah, so I'm excited to go home, and I just feel like it's going to be like all love. And I'm just excited. I'm happy.
Yeah. I mean, imagine like if you see another Filipino, like just randomly, and you feel that way, imagine on a bigger scale, like all these people actually coming out to see you and to support you. I think that's gonna be. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about.
Oh
it,
yeah,
honestly.
you're making me emotional just thinking about it. Like I can't even. You know, the feeling when you step out onto the stage is so exciting, and like people are excited. In the Philippines, I don't even know what that's gonna be like. So
yeah, so very exciting. I can't wait for you to be able to do that finally in June. So to everybody tuning in, JR is going to be bringing later that evening here in Manila at the theater at Soler on June 3, powered by MYX. So make sure to, you know, if you haven't gotten tickets yet, guys, what's happening? Make sure to do so because I mean, we've been talking about it and we're very excited. So we hope that you guys are there too. But I am curious, like when you get nervous before a show, do you do anything that kind of like calms you down, or like how does that
go? I do, you know, you guys are going deep with these questions, you know. I do like meditate and stuff, and I kind of have a routine. So like one of my cousins is really spiritual. This guy is I'll shout him out. Joey, what's up, brother? And he's also very buff. He's buff and spiritual. So
wow.
Yeah. You can look him up.
Dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah. A little bit of everything, buff and spiritual. You don't always get the two together.
That's true.
Yeah. So he like meditates a lot. He got me into some meditation stuff. I do some like breathing things, and I also do like vocal warm-ups. And I feel like when I do go through those things and write my set out, I'm like in the zone and locked in. But for the most part, I just think about, I've had advice from other people too. Like there's Filipino comedian Joey Gila. I don't know if you know him, but he's great. He told me this thing too. Like he thinks about like sending love to all those people who are in the audience. And I think about that, of like everyone who's in the audience or on my crew or in the staff or in the venue, just like that we're all, you know, like feeling the love that night. And that kind of helps me just set into like whatever everyone needs for this night. And if I get to be a part of that, it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, I love that. See, we're getting into all of the good topics for today.
Yeah.
Sharing the love through what you do, I think is going to be so cool to see when you come to Manila as well. So, speaking of the show, what can everybody expect from the show happening in June?
Oh, okay. I'll just do it in 3 words because otherwise I'm
Okay.
gonna, over talk.
Mhm.
Music, laughter, and emotions.
Ooh, I love that you gave yourself a cap of 3 words. Very,
Mhm.
very good strategy to not spoil
There's
anything.
a lot of
Which
mystery.
is
And now people are like, what does this
yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah, you have to break the
Mhm.
code by going, you guys. So make sure to catch JR2 once again for the Manila leg of his Later That Evening tour happening at the theater at Soler on June 3, powered by Mix. You guys can get tickets. You just have to Google it and it'll come out. I swear to you. But
Mhm.
speaking of Google, when I found out that I was going to be talking to you, I did obviously a lot of research
Oh,
on
I'm
this
so curious.
interview.
So curious.
And one of my favorite things that I did find was on Spotify. Like you have music out
Hmm.
on Spotify, and I listened to your albums that
Oh,
were
wow.
there, and I was like, wow, like this is a creative person,
Mm.
dipping toes in many different fields, obviously, and obviously begs to ask the question: do you have plans on maybe making another album in the future? Why not?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So with the live show that I'll do in the
Mm-hmm.
Philippines, I will throw in a few like serious music songs, which I think a lot of people never really expect because like online I'm always doing comedy stuff and
Mm-hmm.
just being a fool. But I've always wanted to dive into more serious music. And so
Mm-hmm.
whether it'll be like a few covers or like or some originals, I'll probably throw some in the Philippine show for sure. Yeah.
Very exciting, you guys. So obviously, Pinoys love that kind of thing too, as we all
Oh,
know. So
yeah.
the energy is going to be maximized times 1,000.
When I think of
When
like the most, I don't know, like the special that I would want to do, like an hour special,
Mhm, mhm,
it would have a lot of things that I just grew up with in high
mhm.
school with my friends, like the things that we loved,
Oh.
singer-songwriters, and then they're also like kind
Mhm,
of funny, and then maybe some like poetry
mhm.
or whatever. Like I kind of envision, and maybe I'm just manifesting this so I can watch this interview later and be like,
Yes.
look, you said this. But it's like I would love to have a special that's like definitely have the comedic aspect, the music aspect, but like some feeling in it too. Because
Mhm.
I don't know, that's just stuff I love.
I love that you said that you're just manifesting it too, because I feel like I always ask that question too. Like, are there any other goals that you want to achieve so that we can manifest it together? And I love that you said that. So it just kind of like,
Oh
yes.
yeah,
So we
no,
can
it's a
look
great.
back.
That's I'm glad. See, I knew where you're going because of our Catholic
Yeah.
Philippine.
I agree. So shout out to
Mhm.
future JR looking
Yes.
back at this. See, you manifested it in
Hmm.
on March 3rd. Well, technically March 30 for me, 2023.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. I'm
in the
getting close
future.
there. I've got like 5 hours
Yeah. Yeah.
to catch up
So
with you.
calling from the future.
Well,
You did manifest it.
what the question was? What would you manifest? What have you answered with that? I'm sure you don't get the question back a lot.
Ooh, I really don't get that question a lot too. I
Hmm.
haven't really thought about it. Oh my
Not so easy
god.
being on this side,
Yeah, that is so true. I will have
No.
to message you what I manifest. I will
Okay.
think about it today. I
Yeah, I want to
will
know.
tap
I'm
into
curious.
my inner meditation. I will also meditate on it. Shout
Okay.
out to your cousin. Was that your cousin who taught
Yep.
you how
Buff
to?
and
Yeah.
spiritual. Yes, Joey.
Yes. Not so much of the buff yet, so maybe I will be more spiritual for today too. I will
Cool.
manifest on what I will have to manifest.
You
So
got it.
very exciting. But we're also manifesting that everybody tuning in will be at your show, which is later that evening, happening in Manila once again at the theater at Soler on June 3, powered by Mix. So once again, you guys will
Yes.
get to see JR in real life, not through a screen, not through this rectangle. You will be in the flesh on June 3. So very, very exciting. But before I let you go, JR, do you have a message to everybody tuning in and everybody who's so excited for the show?
For everyone tuning in,
Mm-hmm.
I love you. And so many people love you. And you're great. You're beautiful. Let's hang out sometime. Not like that. Just saying hi. And for everyone coming to the show, that started out inspirational and then it got kind of interesting. But for everyone who's coming out to the show, you know, I think the same thing. Like I just hope it's a place where like whatever people are going through, they can go and like connect with random people, laugh about some silly stuff, and just like forget about their problems. And let's celebrate. Let's have a good time.
There you go, you guys. So we hope that, you know, you got a lot of inspiration for the rest of your day, to everybody who's tuning in from the Philippines. So we hope that we get to see you too at later that evening in Manila, happening at the Theater at Soler on June 3, once again, powered by MYX, and of course, starring JR de Guzman. So
you guys, we're all stars here, okay?
Yes.
Everyone behind the scenes. I know there's someone engineering this right now. You're a star. Whoever's listening.
Yes. See, that is the kind of motivation we all need to get through the rest of March, which is ending very soon, too, and April and the rest of the year. So thank you so much, JR, for sharing. Oh, go
My
ahead.
birthday's coming up in 1 week, y'all. April 7th. It's also Jackie Chan's birthday. Party for me.
Wow. See, Asian legends celebrating their birthday on April 7th. So advance happy birthday. JR, do you have any plans for your birthday?
I'm gonna go to, well, I can't say this brand, but I'm gonna go to my favorite medium like chain restaurant because they have the best dessert. It's a chocolate lava cake. So I'm gonna get a chocolate lava cake.
That's like the best plan ever. I love chocolate lava cake. So you have to try some when you're here.
Please, tell me where the best place is. Yeah,
we have a lot of good ones. So till then, I hope you enjoy your chocolate lava cake on April 7th. Advance happy birthday, and we can't wait to see you in the Philippines in June as well. But thank you so much, JR, for joining me here on MYXclusive.
Thanks for having me, Sam. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you as well to everybody who tuned into this MYXclusive interview. Once again, this has been Sam with 2 M's and JR de Guzman. Thank you, everybody.